the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the virtual Last Great Colosseum, the beautiful mountains of East Tennessee, the Bristol Motor Speedway. Round number 8 of the OP Racing Throwback Series, here live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name is Dawson Wise. I'll be bringing you all the action tonight. Qualifying, despite the fact that it says 5 minutes, is about to wrap up here when we hit the 5-minute mark. 10 minutes put in the session. We're only going to use 5. We should kick over to qualifying, or excuse me, to the grid here in just a moment, and we do. Unfortunately, not going to have time for pre-race ceremonies tonight. We'll get back to that next Thursday night. We are here in Bristol, Tennessee for this, the 8th round of the OP Racing Throwback Series, and I'll tell you what, I am awfully excited for this one. My home track is Bristol Motor Speedway, so obviously very exciting night for me as we head to the high banks of my home track, a place I just was at, actually, for the race last weekend for the NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, as they took to the track in Bristol. Once again, we are here in the OP Racing Throwback Series. Nice the way it lines up under the lights here in Bristol Motor Speedway tonight for 250 laps in the Gen 4 Cup cars. And this is a fun one. This is going to be a fun race. We'll look at the points battle a little bit later on in the night. 250 laps are on the board, and 22 cars are here and ready to go. And with that being said, 2 pace laps here tonight, so a little bit of extra time to go ahead and show you the starting grid for tonight's race. And it starts the man on the pole, who stole the pole away in the dying seconds of qualifying tonight. Christian Strader in the 12. What a season he's having. He wins the pole tonight at a time of 14.347 seconds. To his outside, it'll be Isaiah Dupree in the 86, rounding out row number 1. It'll be Davey Weaver in the 16, starting from position number 3 in the Nutrient Ag Solutions Chevrolet. To his outside, it'll be the Hendrick Cars Chevrolet, the number 17. The newcomer tonight, and what an effort it is on the outside of row number 2, Rusty Modesty in the 17, and I hope I am pronouncing that correctly here tonight. Turn this down just a little bit. Matt Hayden will start from 5th. What a season he's having as well in the 6. To his outside, another man having a really great start to the year, and that is Hunter Carlson in the 2. Trey Galgan, the winner last week from Michigan in the Irish Hills. He'll start from 7th. It'll be Jimmy Fitzmaurice starting from 8th. Chris Weaver starting from 9th, and Travis Elliott rounding out the top 10. It'll be Eric Kosciolek off the heels of his best run in this series. He'll start 11th. It'll be Brent Elmore starting at 12th in the 31 machine. Brian Elmore will start in 13th with Cody Eldred to his outside in the 14th position. The boss man is back this week, Alex Green. He'll start from 15th in that black and silver number 3. To his outside, it'll be Andrew Maletta in the 19, the Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats Chevrolet. Jordan Anderson, Adam Green on row number 9. Vicente Guerrero is back this week in 19th. Bo Benham will start from 20th. It'll be Richard Sanchez making an appearance here in the Throwback Series, starting 21st. And rounding out the field tonight, it'll be Chris Confer in the 57. Note on Trey Galgan, not on the grid, although he might be pit starting here for the 49. Last week's winner Going to get a bit of a late start here from the pit road. With that being said, it's time to go racing. The Last Great Colosseum, Bristol Motor Speedway is ready, and so are we, and I hope you are too. Into the restart zone, green flag. We are racing from Bristol. Great race for the lead up front. Isaiah Dupree versus Christian Strader here for the race lead. Both groups of this racetrack are going to be viable in these cars. A lot of horsepower. Momentum going to be key to get to the lead and stay there here tonight. Strader on the inside. Dupree on the outside. Dupree ringing the fence. Kyle Larson style. Off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. The laps are going to go by fast and furious. And you'll see that in the top left of your screen. 250 are on the board already. 3 up, 3 down. And lap 4 goes onto the board. Dupree and Strader continue to battle for the lead. Strader on the bottom side of the racetrack. He'll get the advantage. Down the back straightaway. But a trouble in the back. And we've had a couple have some problems here early on in the going. We'll get an idea of who that is. Looks to be Travis Elliott. We'll go back and take a look at what happened here on lap number 4. You see Elliott up underneath Jimmy Fitzmaurice in the 33. Good to see him back this week in Bristol as well. Elliott gets loose on corner entry. These things, a lot of horsepower, a lot of rear drive, and unfortunately for Travis Elliott, the rear comes around on him here in the middle of the corner, and he slides down to the apron and brings it to a halt. We'll show you again from another angle here what exactly I mean. You'll be able to see when he goes into the corner here. This is actually probably a pretty good visual of it, at least a better visual of it, as he goes off into turn number 1. Underneath Fitzmaurice, and watch as he rotates the car over, he's already loose. I mean, the second he turns the wheel to the left, the car gets loose, the back end steps out. It's already stepping out. He's trying to save it. He's countering, but by this point, there's so much horsepower, the back end comes around, and he goes for a slide, gets it onto the apron. A one-car spin opens the night's festivities here early on. Alex Green scrambles out of the way. Get one more look at it here before we go back live. And I wanted it to be an onboard shot so I can show you exactly what I mean. You're going to be on board with Travis Elliott going off into the corner in turn number 1 at Bristol, and watch what I mean. As soon as he's on the brakes, it snaps out, and he doesn't really realize it again. Without being able to actually be in the cockpit of a race car, you're not really able to understand what that car is doing. You're not able to feel that, see that, as well as you would in a legitimate race car, in a real race car. So Travis Elliott unable to feel that until it's a little bit too late. And as he came around turns 1 and 2, got out of shape and slid down to the apron. Tough break, but no damage, so he'll be able to keep it on going. I believe he stays on the lead lap as well. He does in the 18th position. Bit of a quick start tonight. Apologies for that, as time ran a little bit short tonight, unfortunately getting on the air. But glad you're here. Share the link. And tell everybody it's Throwback Night in America here on a Thursday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We are happy to be here. I'm glad you're here. And I love me some Bristol racing. What a chaotic race we saw on Sunday afternoon here in the NASCAR Cup Series, with all the tire issues that happened and all the pit strategy that happened. I have never seen a race quite like that. And even sitting in the grandstands made it even a degree more insane, I think, than it was for those watching on TV. Trying to keep up with all that was happening. It was pretty insane. So great stuff on Sunday. Obviously, Denny Hamlin comes away with the victory there on Sunday, and what a race it was. Lap 9 on the board. Christian Strader brings him off turn number 4 for the second time tonight. Green flag is back in the air from Bristol Motor Speedway. 242 laps to go, the 250 scheduled in tonight's race. Great start for Christian Strader. He gets out to a nice lead here early. Who's the first to venture up the hill? That would be Davey Weaver and Rusty Modesty in the 100cars.com Chevrolet number 17. Look at the run that Weaver carries off the bottom of the racetrack. He dives down right to that where the concrete meets the apron, but the top line going to be the superior one here for the most part tonight. The defensive line, and that's what Weaver has here against Modesty. Battles on for the third position. 16 on the outside, 17 on the inside. This is for position number 3. 240 laps to go here from Bristol. They'll be fast and furious here tonight. We'll see just how many times the caution flag interrupts. Battle for third is done and over with. New colors aboard Matt Hayden tonight. Closer to the Folgers look, but he's still got Viagra aboard that Ford Taurus here tonight, running in the fifth position for the number 6. Not a ton of battles on the racetrack right now. We'll get an idea of where everybody's running. There is Jimmy Fitzmaurice. Good to see him back. He's in 8th position right now. Eric Kostyolik has worked his way into the top 10 after his career best week last week. New colors aboard the 7, the all-white Monster Zero Sugar or Monster Energy paint scheme aboard that, black and white Chevrolet Camaro tonight. Battle right here for the 10th position is Brian Elmore and Alex Green. Elmore running that defensive line, Green a half lane lower, trying to get to the inside of Elmore, not able to do it. Now we'll lose a little bit of ground. Battles on up front for the race lead. Isaiah Dupree has run down Strader, and now going to be a traffic jam up against the outside safer barrier. Strader going to run that top line, so is Dupree, and so is Davey Weaver. Nice to see Strader run it down a little bit and start to dime in the corner. And roll, watch, he rolls a little bit low, lets it roll up the hill, and then drives off the corner. Really strong drive off. That's where Strader has excelled early in this race. 16 up, 16 down, lap 17 on the board, and Dupree is going to test the waters on the bottom of the racetrack. A car length back of the bumper of Christian Strader. He goes all the way to the bottom groove and tries to get some drive off, but the top side is just so good at getting off the corner. It does so yet again right here. Strader back to the wall. Weaver follows him up there. Will Weaver get a look at Isaiah Dupree here for second? Not quite, but this battle is becoming awfully cluttered here at the front of the field. Strader and 3 others are running here at the front of this field. Lap 19 is on the board now. Weaver goes to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to run down there and try to get past Isaiah Dupree, but it's not working for him either. Strader, Dupree under a blanket, then Weaver, Modesty under a blanket. Now Matt Hayden has worked his way into this battle as well. The top 5 cars are under a blanket. It's already 20 laps here and gone. Chris Confer is going to be the first car that these leaders approach here on entrance to turn number 1. They'll probably catch him next time around the start-finish line, but not quite, as the caution flag is out once again. And this is for a much bigger incident. It appeared it was for a much bigger incident. We'll see. It might be for Confer. Nope, he's already got damage. Let's see where this one starts. Well, there's a yellow flag thrown. We're going to try to find it here. It's already happened here, too. Was it Travis Elliott again, perhaps? Oh, Travis Elliott's right here. There it is right there. Jordan Anderson in the 10. So he was out of shape, but I don't know if this warranted a caution. Let's see. Looking at Jordan Anderson. Oh, there's the caution right there. My goodness. Big-time contact between Adam Green and Jordan Anderson. We'll have to go back and get a little bit slower look at this one. There's a lot going on right here. So this was a battle that started back here on the front stretch. You see Adam Green patented Bristol crossover move where he crosses across the back bumper of Anderson. Anderson rolls a little bit wide here on turn 4. Has to catch it, keep it off the safer barrier. They go side by side down into turn number 1. Does Anderson perhaps clip the wall here on entry? Yep, just tail whips the wall. Right about where the Sears logo is. And now watch as he tries to cross Adam Green over. Does it a little bit too early. And gets up underneath the back bumper of the 777 of Adam Green and spins him sideways. Now both cars save it. It was enough to bring out the yellow flag. But both cars did save it. Not a ton of damage on either. But that is what brings out our second caution here of the night. Take one more look at it. And you're going to see what I mean here. He tries to cross over. It's a great move. The problem is he just, I think, overestimated perhaps the amount of space that he might have had to get to the back bumper of the 777. Unfortunately, gets in the back of him. But no harm, no foul. Not a lot of damage. And even if there was, it's Bristol. And Bristol does not typically punish you that much for damage unless it is engine damage. But aero damage, not typically a factor here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Under the caution again, 25 will be complete out of 250. They're going very quickly, and they will continue to go quickly. They really lap off laps in this race in a quick manner, so we'll see what happens on this next run. Strader, Carlson, Sanchez, Dupree, Weaver, now your top 5. Green flag back in the air, and we're back underway once again in Thunder Valley. Another great start for Strader. The battle will start behind him, where we've got some pit strategy coming into play. Battle for third. Sanchez is on the way back. He'll lose third. He'll lose fourth. Perhaps he may lose fifth as the train comes on by. Those 5 cars that were running ahead of the field might take their spots back here. Dupree is on the move. Carlson got all the way to second on this cycle of pit stops, and he is going to try to run down Christian Strader, but he's got a mirror full here of several very fast race cars trying to make their way up to him, Dupree being namely the one of them. Strader continues to lead, 28 up, 28 down, lapping off quickly here in Thunder Valley. If you weren't here last week, Trey Galgan got the win in Michigan. A dominant effort out of the 49 machine, and trouble in the back again. And another yellow flag is going to hinder us here on lap number 30. And again, another one that does not list the cars involved. Another one we got to go find. So let's see if we can indeed find it. Does it start back here on Adam Green and company again? Yes, it does, and it's the same incident, man. Adam Green, in a matter of 2 green flag runs within about a 5-lap span, gets the exact same bumper hook look that we saw on the previous caution. We will again take a look at this one. It's going to be pretty much a carbon copy. Watch Alex Green here in the 3, and watch Adam Green on the bottom side in the 777. You see Green drive from the middle to the bottom, and as Adam Green gets out of the gas, Alex Green coming up a little bit faster than he anticipated, gets in the back of the 777 and slides him sideways. Now Andrew Moletta does a great job there of missing that one. There's another crossover gone wrong. It's the same thing we saw in our second caution of the night. You see the contact there between Green and Green. And Adam Green goes into the outside wall. The same contact literally on back-to-back cautions. So Adam Green, that's a tough break for the 777. As unfortunately he went sideways here in the middle of 1 and 2. Another look at it here. Alex Green drops down, gets to the back of Adam Green, and slides him sideways. And again, no harm, no foul. Only those 2 cars involved, and neither of them's really got any more damage than they started with. Maybe a little bit of a scratch on the right side of Adam Green's car from getting the outside wall, but that's about it. So again, under the caution, lap 32 is on the board now, passing over to 33. And the lights will again go out aboard the pace car. So another quick caution. The cautions happen awfully quick here in Bristol, and again, no exception here. As again, we'll have another quick caution, and again, Christian Strader will lead them back to the caution flag, or back to the green flag, excuse me. So another restart incoming from Bristol Motor Speedway, and it's still Christian Strader leading the way. Pace car will dive down again. 217 laps to go from Bristol Motor Speedway. And again, green flag is in the air, and off goes Christian Strader. Another great restart for the man in the 12 machine. Carlson, can he hold off Dupree? The charge on the bottom, yes, he can for a moment. Carlson will maintain the position. We'll keep an eye on this battle for second. Dupree on the bottom side. Carlson on the top side. Great drive off, but trouble again at the tail end of the field, and another caution flag. This one is for Jordan Anderson. And you see Anderson here. Does he try to clear up above Andrew Moletta? Yes, he does. That's actually closer to net code. He goes sliding sideways. He might actually get the inside wall here. I think he rolls it down into the inside safer barrier. And he will just kiss that inside safer barrier a little bit with the rear end of the car. And that's what brings out our 4th caution of the night. Just inside of 40 laps. Again, it's a similar story. It's a crossover. Well, not really. It's just a guy coming up on the back bumper of the car in front of him. Well, that angle tells me it's more contact. The one before looked more like netcode. That one looks like contact. Jordan Anderson gets around. And again, this is nothing intentional that any of these guys are doing. It's figuring out the runs of these cars. These cars do get big runs off the corner. You can really drive them hard off the corner of the racetrack. And unfortunately, in a few straight instances, we've had guys kind of overestimate how much space they have. This time, Anderson overestimates how big the run is, underestimates how big the run is from behind in Andrew Milletta, and tries to square up on his nose, get up in front of him, and clear up off the corner. And unfortunately, goes around for a spin and gets the inside wall just a little bit. Does not appear to be any visible damage on that machine. And so again, we pace under the caution flag. And again, we will await another restart. As we get ready to go back under the green flag, it'll be lap 39, I would assume, when we go back under the green flag. And so the lights will go out once again, and again, we will await another restart. Christian Strader, he's led wire to wire so far. And he continues to hold the lead here on this, the 4th caution of the night. Trying to hold off all the guys behind him and go to victory lane again for the 2nd time after he went to victory lane in Pocono. He will lead again. Field off turn number 4. The pace car will dive down, and again we'll go back under the green flag. Strader into the restart zone, awaits the green flag. There it is. Green flag back in the air, and away we go once again in Bristol. And another really great restart by Christian Strader. I mean, great stuff here at the front of the field. He's been on point. Battles on for 2nd again. Carlson on the bottom. Carlson up top. Dupree on the bottom. Now Dupree going to be under fire from Davey Weaver. That's the window he was looking for in the 16. And how about Davey Weaver? What an effort out of the 16 machine so far. He goes forward into the 3rd position for the first time tonight. He's cracked the top 3. Dupree now is going the wrong way in a hurry. He's all the way back to 6th. He's lost a ton of positions after he could not get off the bottom. Now he finally does get off the bottom, but he's under fire from Chris Weaver for 6th. Good battle here in turns 3 and 4. Weaver on the bottom side actually rolls up to the middle. Dupree on the top side riding the fence. Still side by side for that position, but side by side further up, it's the newcomer, Rusty Modesty. In the 17, the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. He wants position number 3, and the battle's on for this position now. Into the wall, Davey Weaver gets the outside safer barrier. Will lose some spots here and lose some ground. Modesty to 3rd, Matt Hayden to 4th, and Dupree back forward to 5th after he fended off Chris Weaver, but not for long. Davey Weaver, that is, battles back up on the outside groove of the racetrack and takes the spot back. Great racing early on from Bristol. I mean, this is awesome stuff. And it's about to be a battle for 2nd. Under fire is Hunter Carlson. He's got it. Rusty Modesty wants it. Carlson washes up and gets the outside safer barrier. By goes Rusty Modesty. He is up to 2nd and running down the leader. Battle continues here for this spot right here. This will be for the 4th position between Davey Weaver and Hunter Carlson. Dupree, Chris Weaver trying to follow the 2 through on the outside. And again, pin Davey Weaver down there on the bottom, which they will do for now. Weaver gets loose on the bottom of the racetrack. He'll lose a couple spots. And now the battle will continue between Dupree and Carlson. That will be for 4th. But the battle is heating up for the lead. The newcomer, first time in the OP Racing Throwback Series tonight, Rusty Modesty. He wants the lead from the 12 of Christian Strader. Strader on the high side. Modesty follows him in his tire tracks. About a half-lane difference up or down between these 2 race cars. Matt Hayden, don't count him out in the 6. He is here as well. He wants into this battle. Through 3 and 4 again. Modesty half a car length off the back bumper of our race leader, Christian Strader, who's really got some pressure. And they'll catch a lap car here. It's Adam Green. As they go into the corner, Strader goes to the bottom. Modesty tries to go to the middle. Green going to go a lap down as we pass by lap 51. 200 laps to go, make it 199. Inside of 200 laps to go. For the lead, Modesty on the bottom. Strader on the top side. How much can he ride that fence off the corner? Not enough. New leader in Thunder Valley. The first timer, Rusty Modesty, goes to the lead on lap 53. How can he drive away? He's trying to. Dupree is back into the fight. That's for third. Hayden for second underneath Christian Strader. He's got a really great drive on the bottom of the racetrack. He will take second spot for a moment and drive hard into turns 1 and 2 and clear up across Strader. Battles for third between Christian Strader and Isaiah Dupree. Dupree on the bottom, Strader on the top. Strader has burned the tires off the 12. Dupree goes on through. That's for third. Now here comes last week's winner. The winner in the Irish Hills, Trey Galgan. He's into this fight. He wants position number 4. As they go off towards turn number 3, Trey Galgan takes the spot. He gets position number 4. Next in line, Chris Weaver. It'll be a minute before that car gets there, though. So Strader drops 4 spots in a matter of 3 laps and goes from 1st to 5th after the early run of this green flag attempt. Rusty Modesty, he's going to start to cruise a little bit now, but he will have to deal with some lap traffic as the race gets deeper. Under 200 laps to go here in Bristol. Matt Hayden having the best day so far out of anybody in the top 3 in points. Matt Hayden came into this race in the 2nd position in points, right behind Hunter Carlson. Another car lap down, that's Chris Confer in the 57, as he will fade to the bottom of the racetrack and let the leaders go by. Modesty may have tapped the outside wall. Drives right off of it, no harm and no foul. But like I said, Matt Hayden, 2nd in points coming into tonight. The points leader was Hunter Carlson. He currently runs in the 7th position. And coming into this race here tonight, it was a 29-point lead for Hunter Carlson over Matt Hayden. So Matt Hayden trying to gain some spots in the points, but he's under fire now for the 2nd position from Isaiah Dupree in the 86. Modesty continues to lead. Hayden is still 2nd, but Hayden is under some serious fire now from Isaiah Dupree, and soon will be under fire from Trey Galgan, who is really taking the Thursday night scene by storm. A win last week, ran well in Chicagoland earlier in the season. The fuel strategy didn't work out for him, but now runs 4th here in Bristol. As we approach the lap 65 mark of this race, Adam Green goes a 2nd lap down. Severe damage aboard that machine. This is going to get awfully interesting. With these two, Hayden has to slow up. It's going to slow him down and lose him a couple spots. That's a tough break there for Matt Hayden. He loses a couple spots. Now we'll have to just kind of regroup, shake it off, and try to go back by those cars as Modesty continues to work lap traffic. Next on tap, Richard Sanchez. As he goes a lap down in the 5. As on by goes Rusty Modesty. And now the battle will be on for 2nd. Trey Galgan is on the move here in Bristol. He's +4 from where he started. He wants another one here on Isaiah Dupree, trying to go back-to-back. Be the first guy since Tyler Bentley to go back-to-back in the Thursday Night Throwback Series. Let's see if he can continue to do it here. Continue his run forward to the front of the field. He's working on Dupree for 2nd, trying to find any advantage that he can. He now runs a half lane higher, going to try to drive it off the corner and get underneath the 86 going in the next corner. He will. For 2nd, Trey Galgan to the bottom of the racetrack. Dupree gets the wall, and Galgan drives on by. Crossover, Dupree trying to go back to the bottom. Nothing doing. Trey Galgan move him to 2nd. In the maroon and black, number 49 Chevrolet. He now starts to try to run down Rusty Modesty, the newcomer. Chris Weaver, by the way, has gotten all the way to 5th. Christian Strader has dropped to 7th as Travis Elliott begins his pilgrimage through the field. He is currently 6th, +4 from where he started. Biggest mover tonight so far is Vicente Guerrero, up to 13th from the 19th position that he started the race in. Modesty leads, but you can see that lead starting to shrink. Here comes Trey Galgan. He will try to attack the 17 for the lead. Double file lap cars in front of the race leader. Trouble in front of the leader. Modesty has to dive out of the way. Alex Green and Adam Green into the outside wall. And now the caution flag comes out for those two cars back behind the leaders. Oh, we piled up here. Brian Elmore is in it. Alex Green as well. Richard Sanchez was involved, and now they're still crashing. Hunter Carlson is into the outside wall. Chris Confer is involved in this. And this all started when Adam Green and Alex Green got together running side by side. We were watching it live. You actually happened to catch this on your live feed. This actually happened more than once. So let's take a look. You'll see the first instance of it right here. They go 3 wide actually off turn number 4. This is not advisable here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. You see the first contact here. Adam Green is going to have to try to keep it off the wall, and as he does, they're still 3 wide at this point. That does not work. They get together. And up into the outside wall they go. This is only the first instance of it, though. And now watch as they continue another lap. They're going to get together again here right in front of the leader, Rusty Modesty, at the outside wall. Goodness. So they get together once. Apparently that wasn't enough. They get together again, and now watch as they crash. Now watch the guys come piling in from behind them. Oh, man, Chris Weaver. Tough break for the 88. Oh, my goodness. Big hit for Sanchez. Cody Eldred has to dive out of the way. There's Fitzmaurice diving out of the way. And then Hunter Carlson gets a hit from Chris Confer. So a lot going on under that incident as we pace lap 72 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. A couple of lap cars will come to pit road. Lights should go out this time by. We'll go back green on lap 74 of 250, so make it 177 laps to go here from Bristol. Almost a quarter of the way through this race, actually over a quarter of the way through this race, almost a third of the way through this race already. Making great time here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And actually, scratch that. We'll go back green on lap 75 even, so 126 laps to go when we go back under the, or excuse me, 176 laps to go when we go back under the green flag. Again, thanks everybody for watching. On a Thursday night, I know we're competing a little bit here with March Madness. Currently, if you are keeping up with March Madness, the game on right now that is the most notable is Kentucky and Oakland. Third seed Kentucky is down 80-76 to 14th seeded Oakland. That game has 3.9 seconds to go. It is looking bleak for the third seeded Kentucky Wildcats of the SEC, as they're going to have to come up with a bit of a miracle here with about 4 seconds to go. So we'll see how that one turns out. But Kentucky trails 14th seeded Oakland 80-76 with 4 seconds to go. Rusty Modesty is not trailing anybody right now. He leads the race, and actually the lights are going to come back on. We'll go one more pace lap. What a run it is for the newcomer. As he continues to lead the field, he paces another lap led by the start-finish line. His first race here is here tonight at Bristol. So we'll see what he can continue to do. It's gone final. Kentucky falls in an upset to 14th seeded Oakland. Madness here tonight in the March Madness tournament, as the name implies. Oakland wins 80-76. Kentucky goes packing in the first round yet again. 175 laps to go from the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's Rusty Modesty back into the restart zone, and the green flag is back in the air again. Now they want to negotiate the lap machines here of Adam Green and Chris Confer on the bottom of the racetrack. First two leaders have done that. Green is loose. Adam Green is loose in the 777s. Can he keep it straight? He can. Right in front of Travis Elliott. Man, he's really struggling with the handle of that car. Travis Elliott tries to go by him. He's into the wall. Travis Elliott's in the outside wall. A ton. The 51 got up out of the groove, got loose, and has pounded the outside wall on lap 77. and appears to have some major hardship here aboard that 51 machine. He may have to bring it to pit road. Tough break for Travis Elliott. Back up front, Modesty continues to try to run away from Trey Galgan. 172 laps to go this time by. And he starts to run away a little bit. Now Matt Hayden's in the tire tracks of these two here at the front of the field. Isaiah Dupree as well. He runs in fourth. And Vicente Guerrero, man, the story continues for the 14 machine. He's plus 14 from where he started. What a run so far for Vicente Guerrero, one of the Monday and Wednesday night regulars. One of the Dale Cup game strucks on Monday, but a caution flag, and I believe this one is for Davey Weaver. Although it may not be. I thought it was. I might be wrong. It's actually going to start behind him, I think. Well. Oh, it starts up in front of him. Wreck's already happening. We'll have to wait and see. I think it might have been Davey Weaver indeed in the 16. We'll go back and take a look. Well, I don't know if this is enough to bring out a caution. Oh, it's up in front of him. Hard to tell which car that was. It might have been the Brian Elmore machine, perhaps. It's hard to pinpoint because these guys aren't registering as crashes. Oh, my goodness, it was Christian Strader. One of the fastest cars of the night. He was logged in traffic after taking tires. He didn't take tires earlier. And here off turn number 2 on the backstretch, Brian Elmore is going to get a little bit more real estate than I think he probably wanted to take right there. And drives across the nose of Christian Strader. And unfortunately, Strader gets up into the outside wall. Now, luckily, I don't think he gets too much damage either of these cars, really. The lucky thing about Bristol is that you don't get a ton of damage from minor incidents like this. So, excuse me, lucky for the Strader machine. I believe he will be okay. Take another look here off turn number 2. You see Elmore, it's kind of similar to what Jordan Anderson had happen on our earlier caution, but in this case, I think Elmore, he gets the call, he's not clear. He just takes a little bit more than he probably thought he had. Again, nothing egregious done by either of these drivers. It's just there's not a lot of real estate at Bristol, and when you get this close, this stuff can happen. So, tough break for both of these two. We will take one more look before we go back under the green flag. And, yeah, I think he just got a little bit further up the hill than he probably bargained for there off turn number 2. They come together. They slide up against the outside wall. But, again, neither car getting too much significant damage under this another caution here on the night. 6th caution of the night. Lap 84 is on the board. It's Rusty Modesty, Trey Galgan, Matt Hayden, Isaiah Dupree, Vicente Guerrero, your top 5. As we pace lap 84, already almost the lap 100 mark here in Bristol, so about a third of the way through the 250 lap scheduled distance as we run right now. Lights are out of the top of the pace car. We will go green with an even 165 laps to go from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Top 5 cars have been very good. Brian Elmore actually is going to maintain 6th. Chris Weaver's been good. He's 7th. Cody Eldred, haven't heard much from him tonight, but he's running a solid 8th. Andrew Milletta's up to 9th. Good run for the 19. Brent Elmore runs in 10th. Notably, Hunter Carlson, Christian Strader are 16th and 17th as we get ready to go under the green flag. Green flag, but not for long. We're going to get picked up by the pace car here. There was trouble in the back of the field. And this happens on the restart. Oh, man. We got ready to go under the green flag. Adam Green on the back of Alex's screen, and that was all she wrote there. Leaders are waiting to get picked up by the pace car, and so we will be under another caution. So it'll count it, I think, as perhaps another yellow, but it's not technically another yellow. Actually, we're just going to turn the lights right back out. So we're going to go green on lap 88, so make it 163 laps to go at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Couple more March Madness updates for you. Gonzaga leads 12th seeded McNeese State 83-61 late in the second half. Iowa State beats 15th seed South Dakota State 82-65. And second seeded Tennessee leads 15th seed St. Peter's 12-5 very early in the going, about 7 minutes into that game in Charlotte. Modesty off turn number 4. Green flag is back in the air, and away we go one more time. From Bristol, Modesty, great start. 3-car length advantage here over Trey Galgan. The battle will be on for second. Matt Hayden's on the prowl, and he's on the hunt. Can he get to the inside here of the 49 of Galgan? He sure is trying. Modesty actually runs the bottom there in turns 3 and 4. Lap 89 on the board here in Bristol. Almost a lap 100 mark in Bristol. And these laps are going to start to really tick off quickly if we get into a green flag run. Modesty starts to drive away just a little bit. Top 5 pretty evenly separated. As Galgan continues to try to run him down. Matt Hayden, oh man, struggling there in the middle of 1 and 2. He got the apron, and then I believe he also got the wall. Dupree goes on by. That is for position number 3. Battles on behind him. Trouble. Vicente Guerrero up and into the outside wall at the bumper of Chris Weaver. And gets hit by Davey Weaver a ton. Oh my goodness, Guerrero airborne. Big damage aboard Vicente Guerrero's machine, and right as we talked about how good the run was getting, unfortunately, going to take a turn for the worst here for Vicente Guerrero. As we saw him going off in the corner in front of Chris Weaver, Weaver takes a look, and he tries to block the bottom here when Weaver gets to him, but you really can't block in these cars because you can't take contact. And you see Weaver's already there. Guerrero's coming down the hill, and gets the nose inside there, and Guerrero goes around. He's going to spin into the outside wall. Right there, backs it in. Typical Bristol wreck. Weaver actually is going to hold this car straight, I believe. And now watch as Davey Weaver comes flying into the picture here very late. Guerrero still up against the wall. He's been sitting here for a decent amount of time now. Watch Davey Weaver stuck on the outside of Hunter Carlson, and oh my goodness. Gets Guerrero all the way off the ground. A considerable distance off the ground. So tough break there for Guerrero, as unfortunately he is caught up in this, our 7th caution of the night. You see the contact there. Weaver not really expecting Guerrero to roll down the hill. It's hard to get these cars to woe down when you go into the corner. And Guerrero is the brunt end of this one. He goes into the outside wall. And then he's going to get hit here by Davey Weaver and elevated a long way off the ground. And bounces down off the racing surface. We'll go on board with the driver of the 14, Vicente Guerrero, before we go back to live action. Show you exactly how high off the ground this 14 car got. So he's going to sit up against the wall. Here comes Davey Weaver. Big bounce off the racetrack. A tough break there for Vicente Guerrero, who continues to sit on pit road. Almost to the 100 lap mark, 95 on the board. As we get ready to go back under the green flag again, Rusty Modest has been the story of the night. I mean, in his first race, he's close to Nolan Hodgson levels of legendary here in the OP Racing Throwback Series. You'll remember back to last season at Richmond Raceway. Nolan Hodgson won in his first start in the series. Modesty looking to do that here tonight in his first start in the series. Lights out aboard the pace car. It'll be 154 laps to go. when we go back under the green flag here momentarily. The only car who has called it a night so far is Travis Elliott. He'll get credited with 22nd. Cars are one or more laps down. Richard Sanchez, Alex Green, Vicente Guerrero, Davey Weaver, Adam Green, and Chris Confer. And they will line up on the bottom side of the speedway. As Modesty brings the field back off turn number 4 and down to the start-finish line again. Green flag is back in the air, and away we go again from Bristol. Modesty, another good start as the field has to negotiate these 2 lap cars. Galgan gets a good start as well. So too does Dupree. Chris Weaver continues to run in the 4th position. You see the front end damage on his machine. But it's all Rusty Modesty so far, continuing to lead the way. 98 up and 98 down. Modesty, they're really pushing tempo here at Bristol. They are really hustling, not really saving a lot, which you don't technically have to in Bristol, but it is beneficiary. But Trey Galgan not quite saving enough. He gets the outside wall there on turn number 4, and he will drop a little bit of time to the race leader. Off into turn number 3 again. Galgan, I think, might have a little tiny bit more speed. As we pass by the start-finish line there, 150 laps to go, 100 down, 150 remain. We are 25 laps short of halfway here in Thunder Valley. And another crash at the back of the field. This one involves Brent Elmore and Bo Benham. And this is going to be a tough spot for him to get out of with the leaders still on rushing. You're going to see some contact here between Kosciulik and Elmore. There it is right there. You see the 31 get sideways. And as he gets sideways, I believe he's going to get hit by Bo Benham here coming off turn number 2. He actually is going to maybe save this. Oh, but not for long. He gets contact from Alex Green, who piles into the back of the 31. And as he comes back up, nowhere for Bo Benham to go here on the exit of turn number 2. He committed to the top, and he gets into the back of Brent Elmore. So tough break for the 31 machine. Actually, Vicente Guerrero gets involved in that as well. So tough break after tough break for Guerrero and Bo Benham. You'll see the 3 piling of the 31 here on the apron of turn number 4. The apron of turn number 2, rather. Another look at it here going into the corner. You see the contact there between those 2 cars. Pretty decent job by Elmore to keep it somewhat straight here and then guide it off the racetrack. But again, hard to slow these cars down. Alex Green sees this personally there in turn number 2 and gets in the back of the 31 of Elmore. And sends him for a slide. You see Benham. And you're going to see Guerrero as well. 8th caution of the night, lap 105 on the board. And we've got some pit strategy playing out in real time. New leader in Bristol is Brian Elmore. He'll lead these laps under the caution flag. And back up to second is Christian Strader. Matt Hayden is third. Bo Benham is fourth. And then Rusty Modesty, our leader from the last run, is in the 5th position. So interesting pit strategy starting to play itself out here on lap 106. As these guys up front tried something to get back into their track position and get back to the front of the field. Lights out aboard our pace car again. It'll be 144 laps to go. When we go back into the green flag, we are 19 laps short of halfway. Here we go at Bristol Motor Speedway. Another restart here after our 8th caution of the night. And back to green we go. Brian Elmore, the new leader from Bristol. And off into turn number 1 go the leaders. Nose to tail behind Brian Elmore, straight to the bottom. He wants the race lead, and he will get it. Alex Green to make some contact with Matt Hayden. This is a big-time stack up behind Brian Elmore in the 39. He's laboring. Trouble. Adam Green's into the inside wall. Can he keep it down there? It looks like he will. And no caution, we stay green. Trouble! Around goes Brian Elmore. Dupree gets piled into. He's barrel rolling on the backstretch, and another caution flag will come out here on lap 108. Isaiah Dupree goes barrel rolling down the Bristol backstretch and brings out our 9th caution of the night. Brian Elmore was laboring here at the front on old tires, and Isaiah Dupree is going to catch him faster than I think he might have anticipated and get into him here. You'll see the contact. He tried to back it up at the last second, but unfortunately nothing you can really do. And by this point, Eldred, nothing he can do to slow down, gets up underneath Dupree and sends him airborne. And you're going to see the 86 do a couple barrel rolls here. Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Jordan Anderson getting involved behind the incident. There you see Dupree do a rollover and come back down on his wheels. I don't think Dupree had anticipated getting a nose inside of Brian Elmore right there. It's just he was trying to push the pace on corner exit. Unfortunately, Elmore was really struggling there on old tires as he stayed out to inherit the lead, and Dupree and Eldred going to get the brunt end of this one as Dupree goes for an entire barrel roll, which you don't see often at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll go on board briefly here with Isaiah Dupree, and you'll go for a ride on the barrel roll here on the Bristol backstretch. Tough break there for Isaiah Dupree, Cody Eldred, and Brian Elmore. We will get ready again to reset the field and go under the green flag here momentarily on what should be lap 114 of 250, our 9th caution of the night being paced right now, with the leader being Christian Strader, who helped flip track position. Matt Hayden did the same, gets in front of Modesty in the 17. Modesty now runs 3rd and to negotiate our 2 leaders. Trey Galgan, who was 2nd, now runs in the 4th position. Take a look at the upcoming schedule. For the OP Racing Throwback Series. And again, tonight we're in Bristol Motor Speedway. No guarantee there will be a broadcast next week, but next week we'd be in Darlington. April 4th we'll be in Richmond. April 11th we'll be in Dover. That's 3 weeks from now. And then a month from now we'll be in Kansas. The next 4 races on the schedule for the Throwback Series: Darlington, Richmond, Dover, and Kansas. Fun little short track spring coming up here. And here we go. Green flag is back in the air. 137 to go here in East Tennessee. Trouble at the back. One car got around, and the caution flag's going to come right back out. You saw it start to happen on your screen. And it's Bo Benham and Brian Elmore. This actually, I think, is going to happen up in front of them. This happens with Richard Sanchez. As we got back under the green flag. You see Brent Elmore struggling there on the inside to get going, and Sanchez is going to get clipped here, I think, by Adam Green. He does get clipped by Adam Green and goes for a slide to the inside part of the racetrack, goes on the apron, and unfortunately what goes down at Bristol, opposite of Dover, what goes down must come back up, and he washes back up to Andrew Milletta. Jimmy Fitzmaurice is involved in this. Man, big hit there for Jimmy Fitzmaurice. My goodness. All the way off the ground was the 5. See Bo Benham getting involved. See the check up there on the bottom. Adam Green, no choice but to try to take it 3 wide and hooks Sanchez to his left. Gets him onto the apron. And he's going to slide back up onto the racing surface here in front of onrushing leaders, including Milletta. And watch this hit for Jimmy Fitzmaurice. Goodness. All the way up and over the 7 of Kosciulik. Man, Eric Kosciulik might have the best on board of anybody in that one. And Bo Benham as well is involved in the 64. We're going to go on board with Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Eric Kosciulik, who I think might have the best view of a wreck in the 2 seasons of this series. You're on board with Eric Kosciulik. Whoa! I've seen the oceans part in these races before, but I've never seen him do that. So lucky there for Eric Kosciulik that the 33 got the 5 up and out of the way, up into the sky above him, and he could drive on through. One of the more unique onboards you'll see come to us on a Thursday night. We'll go back to green and try it again on what should be lap 120. Of the Throwback Series. Still 5, going to be 5 laps short of halfway. And 131 laps to go. So it'll actually be 6 laps technically short of the halfway mark when we get to the line. Strader, Hayden, Modesty, Galgan, Chris Weaver, your top 5. Jordan Anderson, Hunter Carlson, Eric Kosciulik, Cody Eldred, and Bo Benham complete the top 10. The last car on the lead lap in 11th is Isaiah Dupree. Here we go again. Another attempt at this restart. Our 10th caution of the night is complete. And again, we'll give it another shot. 131 laps to go from Bristol. Straight into the restart zone. He and Hayden continue to try to hold off Rusty Modesty. Green flag is back in the air. And away we go again from Bristol. Matt Hayden going to have to negotiate Alex Green here off turn number 2. Going to have to try to find a way around him. As Rusty Modesty goes to the bottom. Battle for second, but not for long. Modesty has to lift up off the hill. And a caution flag is out again. Looks like this one could be Adam Green. He was up front here by Brian Elmore and gets to the back of him there. In turns 1 and 2 and slides him sideways. Take another look here as they go in the corner, and we'll see the contact happen between Green and Elmore. They were good. That's why I didn't even look back there, but as he drives through the corner, he gets in the back of the 39 and sends him sideways, and unfortunately is going to also get into him again there as they pass through the corner. But again, no harm, no foul. It's about the 4th or 5th time tonight we've seen a wreck collect 2 cars and no more than 2 cars. And not really any severe damage to either of them. Another one that's pretty self-explanatory and again puts us under another caution. Our 11th caution of the night. A caution-filled affair, but somewhat expected here in the Bristol Motor Speedway that's going to be the kind of racing you get, especially in these cars. These cars are not easy to drive. I can firsthand tell you they are tough beasts to learn, and some of these guys, you can tell, have really found some speed. We'll see what the rest of the night holds. We'll go green right at halfway, I think, actually. It's going to be really convenient. I think we're going to go green on lap 126 of 250, which would make it 125 to go. Again, thank you for joining me here on a Thursday night. Glad you're here. Again, apologies for the internet issues last week. Those, I believe, knock on wood, have been solved. So hopefully that will not plague us anymore here the rest of the season. Unfortunate occurrence that internet can sometimes have. Unfortunately, as all technology goes sometimes, as we have learned, not always willing to cooperate. Get ready to go back to green. It will not be lap 126. It will be lap 127. So we'll pass halfway under caution here this time by. Another quick March Madness update for you if you're paying attention to the March Madness tournament. Tennessee leads 29-13. That game is approaching halftime. At 29-13 Tennessee in that one as we get close to wrapping up the first day of March Madness. There's still a couple games left to tip off here in just a moment. We're ready to go back under the green flag one more time here from Bristol. 125 laps, 126 laps will be complete. 124 remain to be run here at Thunder Valley. Let's see if we can get into a bit of a green flag run here, tick some of these laps away. Christian Strader, Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, and the rest of the lead lap cars certainly hoping we do so. Green flag is back in the air, and away we go again towards turn number 1. Matt Hayden this time gets a lot better start. Now will be able to put his focus onto the Christian Strader machine, who runs right along the bottom of the racetrack. Strader by a car length over Matt Hayden, but not for very long. Here comes the Viagra Ford Taurus. He wants to take a look to the inside of the leader, Christian Strader. A better way to cut into a points lead than to win the race. That's what Matt Hayden's thinking right now. Rusty Modesty, Trey Galligan have gotten through as well to be 3rd and 4th. As they round the corner one more time, 129 up, and 129 will be down here this time by the start-finish line. Strader leads by a car length and a half. Rusty Modesty about 4 car lengths off the back bumper of the 6 of Matt Hayden. Closing in on 150 laps complete. The battle for the lead is as strong as ever. Here comes Matt Hayden. 2nd in points coming into tonight. Has been one of the better cars all year long in the Throwback Series. And looks to make another stamp on his season here tonight. It would be his 2nd victory. It'll be Strader's 2nd victory in the 12. Can Hayden get to his back bumper that time? Not quite. He'll go back to the bottom of the racetrack. He continues to chip away. Matt Hayden working on the back bumper of Christian Strader because he can look in the mirror and see Rusty Modesty. He comes along with him. Now the battle will be for 2nd for a moment as Hayden loses some of that momentum he had on the back bumper of Christian Strader and now has to hold out the charge of the 17. 17 runs the top side. Going to get a great run here off corner exit. The battle may be for 2nd by the time they get back to us here in turns 1 and 2. Modesty leans a lane lower, but Hayden runs the defensive line and stays in front of him for now. Off turn number 4, Strader opens up a 3-car length lead on Matt Hayden and the rest of the field. The top 4 cars have pulled away by almost 2 seconds from Chris Weaver, who runs 5th. Hunter Carlson is the 6th place car. So another good run for him tonight. But Chris Weaver and Carlson and Cody Eldred and the rest of the field has some work to do because these top 4 cars are running away. 124 laps to go here from Bristol. It's still Strader, Hayden, Modesty, Galgan under a blanket here at the front of the field. The battle for the lead just getting good, and lap cars are in the distance. Strader got track position by working the pit strategy under one of our cautions a few moments ago, and has not relinquished the lead since. He's led for about the last 25 laps or so. But he's trying to hold off the hard-charging second and third place cars of Matt Hayden and Rusty Modesty. Modesty to the bottom, dives it hard on the bottom of the banking. Hayden goes to cross over, but won't have anything for him. Modesty to second. Hayden to third, here in turns 3 and 4, as Trey Galgan looks on from that 4th position. Modesty gets through to second. He'll now chase the leader, Christian Strader. Off turn number 2, about a 3-car length advantage. Make it 2 as they head for turn number 3. Modesty closes the gap right up, car length and a half. Really closes this gap. He's going to be battling for the lead next time they come to us. 110 laps to go this time by. As we approach the 100 lap to go mark. Strader, Modesty, Hayden, and Galgan, your top 4. You're looking at them on your screen. We're going to keep it here for now. Chris Weaver is under fire for 5th from Hunter Carlson. About 4 seconds back of the leader. Trouble. Eric Kosciolik appears to be involved in this. And he is right there as the leaders go past him. And I don't want to speak too soon. But I think we have another case of the same kind of incident, a crossover gone wrong, and it is indeed a crossover gone wrong. As Eric Kosciolik gets hit from behind by Adam Green in the 777. And goes for a slide sideways and backs it into the inside wall. Pretty considerable hit there for Eric Kosciolik. He was running 10th when that happened. He now runs 15th on pit road. And I mean, it's the same scenario we've seen involving Adam Green already tonight, a crossover gone wrong. Another incident with only 2 cars. We'll take one more look at it before we go back to live action. Here's Kosciolik gets turned. An unfortunate break. He was running 10th on the lead lap at this point. And Adam Green gets to the back of him and slides him sideways. And he gets down and backs into the inside wall and puts us under our 12th caution of the night. Just short of 100 laps to go here at Bristol. Christian Strader continues to lead the way. It'll be 105 to go when we get back to the start-finish line again. As we await another restart, our 12th caution of the evening is on the speedway. So we'll see if Strader can continue to lead, although now Rusty Modesty runs in the 2nd position instead of 3rd. He's been the fastest car all night. He and Trey Galgan, I think, have been the fastest on the speedway. So we'll see what he can do here on this restart. With what will be 103 laps to go. These cars in front of the leaders should get their laps back here this time by. No, they're not going to. They're going to get their... They're going to have to start here in front of the leaders. This could be a weird, wonky restart, but nonetheless, we are going to do it anyway. Christian Schrader here looking at the Kodak Dodge Charger. He is your race leader. For reference, Brent Elmore, Brian Elmore, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, and Alex Green, or excuse me, not Alex, yeah, Alex Green, are on the tail end of the lead lap. So here we go. Green flag is back in the air. A wonky restart, but nonetheless a restart. Either way, as Schrader now tries to negotiate immediate lap traffic. Adam Green comes off of pit road on the bottom side of the racetrack. He will blend. Schrader off turn number 4. He will take lap 150, and Modesty's to his back bumper and for the lead. Here in 1 and 2. Schrader trying to keep it out of the wall. Drives hard off turn 2 and maintains the lead. Great drive off from Schrader. The first defense is complete. Drives to the middle of the racetrack. Now under fire for second will be Modesty here from Matt Hayden. Heavy lap traffic ahead of the leader. In the form of Christian Schrader. Fitzmaurice goes sideways. Can he keep it saved? Not quite. Caution flag number 13. I'm not sure if this one comes out for Fitzmaurice here or not. I guess it does. I mean, this wasn't really a caution-worthy incident, unless there was a separate wreck. Did he hit the barrels, perhaps, here? No? Is there another incident somewhere else on the speedway? No. That's what it was for. All right, well... This is going to be the cause of the 13th caution. Man, this is a bit of an interesting caution call here in the corner. I'm not sure. He never even gets more than about a quarter of the way around before this caution comes out. Probably a precautionary measure. Pardon my pun there. But probably just to make sure nobody else got involved in anything if Fitzmaurice were to come back up on the racetrack. And make sure there wasn't any secondary incident. And luckily there is not. Another one that's pretty self-explanatory. We're past halfway, 98 laps to go as we pass by the start-finish line here in Bristol. I want to thank you for joining me here on a Thursday night. As we are working our 13th caution of the night. As we go into this caution, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the OP Racing Throwback Series in Bristol. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, thank you for joining me here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for the OP Racing Throwback Series Round 8 in Bristol. As we have 97 laps to go, to be 96. When we get back to the start-finish line, we should be going green with 95 to go here on the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. Do want to take a second really quickly under the caution flag and thank Premier Racing Setups, the official setup shop home of the Turn 3 Racing Network. If you need any iRacing setups, oval setups, road setups, dirt setups, short track setups, any kind of setup you may need for your various iRacing endeavors, check out Premier Racing Setups, prssetups.com. You see that link in the top left. Check them out. They will take good care of you over there at Premier Racing Setups. They make really, really great stuff. Their setups are some of the best in the business, so go check them out at Premier Racing Setups. We want to thank them for sponsoring tonight's broadcast in the Turn 3 Racing Network. So here we go again. 95 laps to go under our 13th caution of the night. From the Bristol Motor Speedway, Schrader, Modesty, Hayden, Galgan, Weaver, your top 5 still. And again, we will try it once more. Green flag is back in the air, and we are back underway in Bristol. Strader, a nice drive on the restart. He gains about a 4-car length advantage on Rusty Modesty, who has about a 3-car length advantage on third place, Matt Hayden. Modesty to the top side of the racetrack. Strader continuing to run the middle. That's where he's been the most comfortable during the course of tonight's race. Is around that middle groove, right? We see him running right now. He actually runs about a lane higher as Modesty gets within 2 car lengths of his bumper and tries to run him back down into the corner again. A car length separate our 2 leaders. 93 laps to go from Bristol as they pass by the start-finish line. Modesty a car length back, hounding Christian Strader for the race lead. Again, they will battle here in just a moment. Hayden third, Galgan fourth, Weaver fifth. Dupree has recovered into the 6th position. Notably, really quickly, retired from the race now. Andrew Maletta, Richard Sanchez, Chris Confer, Vicente Guerrero, and Davey Weaver have all called it a night. They'll finish 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, respectively. Strader and Modesty separated by a car length and a half here down the backstretch at Bristol. And they're running about the identical line. You saw Strader move up the racetrack when he saw Modesty start running that line behind him. And now he moves up to try to play defense, take away vision, take away air, perhaps, from that 17 car who has been the class of the field tonight. Strader certainly has as well. But Modesty has been arguably the best car in the field, and he continues to hound Strader and make him work for it. Off in turn number 4 again. Still a car length between our 2 leaders. They've started to put some time on Matt Hayden, though, running in the 3rd position. Still a car length between those two, but about 8/10 back to Matt Hayden, and then about a second or more to Trey Galgan. Half a car length now is the closest Modesty's been on any of these runs so far. And again, he will start to go to work, try to chip away and make the pass. Gets a really nice drive and goes to the bottom for the race lead in turn 3. Rusty Modesty, the newcomer, on the bottom. It's Strader, the mainstay, on the top side. Oh, they're going to run door to door. That was really close there to contact, and Strader, a little bit phased, gets to the outside wall, but still double file. Modesty down to the bottom, Diamond's the corner. Can he get the better drive off? Still side by side are these 2 cars. Matt Hayden's into this battle all of a sudden. Strader loses the lead. Can he drive back off the top side? Yes, he can. Great drive off by Strader, and he maintains the race lead. Strader on the top side still. Modesty and Hayden now run the bottom along the difference between the concrete and the apron. Strader, I think he might want to pinch him down a little bit. If you're the 12, I would almost pinch him the slightest bit when you get to this other end of the racetrack and make him work a little harder on the bottom. He has yet to pinch him, and it's hurt him a little bit. But this time, Modesty runs up. Now Diamond's the corner off, and they are still side by side. Great stuff. This has brought Trey Galgan into this as well. Who's going to get the better drive off? Who's going to make the first mistake? Still side by side for the race lead. Strader versus Modesty. Hayden and Galgan wait in the wings. Great drive off at 2. Strader maintains the lead. This is incredible stuff here at the front of the field. Galgan and Hayden will battle for 3rd. Modesty will slip back in line and get back to work. 80 laps to go from Thunder Valley. Strader now can breathe for a moment, but not for very long. Only a car length back to the 2nd place car and the 3rd and 4th place cars as well. 4 of the best in the series. Well, 3 of the best in the series, and a newcomer battle it out for the win in Bristol. Inside of 80 laps to go. And if you're just joining us, you've joined us at the right time. 4-way battle for the lead in Bristol. Oh, Modesty, that's the highest he's run so far. I don't know how he cut it out of the wall. He's going to tap the wall. So did Matt Hayden. Battles on for 3rd. Galgan to the bottom of Matt Hayden. Modesty again goes to work on Strader. Half a car length separate our 2 leaders as Modesty again tries to chip away. Gets in the wall, though. That's the first mistake we've seen out of Modesty. He runs into the outside wall. Gives it a tap, and now we'll drop about a car length on the 12 of Christian Strader, who continues to lead. By the start-finish line again, these laps are ticking by in a hurry. It should be noted, I don't think we're going to have a green flag pit stop in this race. I think these guys can go plenty of laps to get around this racetrack. for second. Here comes Trey Galgan on Rusty Modesty. So Modesty maybe starting to fade a little bit here late into this run with 75 laps to go. And now the lap traffic begins to become an issue for Strader. He'll have to lift for Adam Green before he goes by him on the front stretch because he's passing Brent Elmore at the same time. Modesty back into the battle. Strader to the bottom of the hill. Modesty going to stay top of the hill. Galgan thought about going to the middle of 3 wide, but thinks better of it. Modesty to the bottom. He'll follow Strader into the corner. Galgan will follow Modesty into the corner. And all 4 of our leaders are going to try to negotiate the 777 of Adam Green. First 2 will, first 3 will, make it the first 4 as Hayden gets by him as well. They're past the first little bit of lap traffic and now begin to work towards the next bit of lap traffic. Galgan really firing on Rusty Modesty here for second. It's making him drive out the back mirror. Great try to the bottom. Great move there by Galgan. Real big drive off. He goes to the bottom. He will get the spot. He's going to try to go 2 for 1. He gets to the bottom of our leader, Strader, but has to lift. Gets up into the outside line, slips in line, and he'll go to second. Matt Hayden also goes by Modesty. That is for position number 3, all happening behind our leader, Christian Strader, right now. A car length back. Make it a half car length. Make it less than that. Here comes Trey Galgan. The winner in the Irish Hills wants to go back-to-back here on the high banks. He gets another good drive off. Now they're going to have to negotiate a lap car. Where's the Anderson going to run? He's going to run the top side. Strader will have to dive to the bottom. And he'll be followed in by Trey Galgan, who's got such great drive off the corner. He will again drive in, slip in behind him. Matt Hayden's by the lap car. And now Modesty, he's beginning to really fade in the 17. Green comes off the wall. He held up Strader for a moment. And now Trey Galgan drives on by. He goes to the race lead here in 3 and 4. Matt Hayden, Christian Strader try to work the lap car of Alex Green and get their momentum back. Galgan to the lead. Take a breath. Fantastic racing here on the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. 67 laps to go as Galgan now puts about a second on Christian Strader and company. We'll go back and look at the battle for second here momentarily as Strader tries to hold off Matt Hayden in the Viagra 6 Taurus. But he goes off in the corner, gets by the 12, and now Matt Hayden moves into position number 2. Position number 4 will be contested next. We'll give it a second here, see if Strader can drive back to the bottom of Matt Hayden. He cannot. We'll go back to the battle for 4th. Fast, furious, constant racing side by side in Bristol. Dupree is on the move. He's trying to get back to the front, and he goes right by Rusty Modesty. That is for position number 5. So Dupree's on the move. Watch out, leaders. Here comes Isaiah Dupree. He's not done with this yet. So you're looking at Rusty Modesty. Next car to catch him will be Hunter Carlson, who's in heavy lap traffic right now. And then Cody Eldred, up 7 from where he started, runs in 7th right behind him in the white, black, and green Sharpie machine. And this is serious lap traffic here. These guys have been too wide for a while. Carlson is going to have to think about going middle. He will try to go middle. But Green gets the wall. He's able to go on by, and now he'll be able to negotiate the 31 separate. I mean, this is outstanding. You cannot say enough about this racing. Change for 3rd. Isaiah Dupree is on the move. Can he run down the leader, Galgan? He doesn't have a ton of time to try to run him down. Galgan will start to catch more lap traffic here momentarily, and he will definitely catch it if this race continues to stay green. Matt Hayden is about 1.3 seconds behind the leader. Dupree is starting to cut into the lead, though. He's got it down close to 2 seconds. And this is going to get to be really interesting here if Dupree gets back into this battle. He's got some of the freshest tires in the field. If he can get back to him. Inside of 60 laps to go in Thunder Valley. A great race underway here in the Bristol Motor Speedway late in the going. This has turned into a barn burner. If you missed that stretch of racing a moment ago, I mean, you have seriously missed out. For position number 2, he's got to make quick work, does Isaiah Dupree. If he wants any hope of catching Galgan, he will do just that. He makes really quick work of the 6 machine, and now we'll start to run down the leader. Dupree looking to go back to victory lane in the Throwback Series. The first time in several weeks. He's got 2 wins on the year. Trying to get his 3rd here tonight of the season and continue his surge back in the points. And he's going to get a good chance to do it. Caution flag number 14 is out with 65 laps to go. 55 laps to go. I believe this one involves Adam Green in the 777. As they come off turn number 4, he's going to get way loose and slide it sideways. And then gets hit in the back end there by Jordan Anderson. And that's what brings out another caution here, our 14th of the night. This is just a case of getting loose on the bottom of the banking here. He gets the left side tires on the apron. And slides sideways. Nowhere for Jordan Anderson to go. I mean, just, you can't say enough about this racing. And now with everybody back on fresh tires, get ready, folks, because this is going to get really good. But we'll get to that in a second. Take one more look. And then we'll go back and we'll break down this pit cycle under yellow. The leaders are on pit road. You see Adam Green go sideways here. Gets hit by Jordan Anderson, and he took it right to the pit lane. 14th caution of the night. I believe Isaiah Dupree has stayed on the speedway. I'm not sure if he came down pit road or not. Under the 14th caution here of the night. Dupree winning in Indianapolis 3 weeks ago, as well as that fuel strategy race in Chicagoland, which we all thought was going to be Trey Galgan's first win in this series. Ended up being Dupree's return to victory lane. Dupree now leads the race. Galgan will be on fresh tires behind him. Strader will be on fresh tires in 3rd. Matt Hayden on fresh tires in 4th. And Rusty Modesty, who I thought was the fastest car on new tires, he'll restart on new tires here from 5th. And with what's going to be about 51 laps to go when we go back under the green flag, it'll actually be an even 50. We are into the home stretch now in Bristol where, I mean, this is these laps are going to tick away awfully quickly. You don't have a ton of chances anymore to make up positions, and these guys will try to do just that on this restart. Dupree will try to hold them all at bay and go back to victory lane for the 3rd time this year. Notably, also trying to go back to the victory lane for the 3rd time this year is Christian Strader in the 3rd position. Matt Hayden will be looking for his 2nd win of the season, as will Trey Galgan. And obviously the newcomer, Rusty Modesty, he's looking for win number 1 on his Throwback Series career. The rest of the guys in the top 10, Hunter Carlson, Cody Eldred, who are, by the way, 1st and 3rd in points going into this week, also looking for their first wins of the season. Chris Weaver and Brian Elmore continue to look for the first of their Throwback Series career, and Bo Benham looks to get the 2nd of his career and his first in Season 2. A lot of storylines, a lot of different things to watch for, and not a lot of time to do it. 50 laps to go from Bristol. Isaiah Dupree going to try to hold off a hungry field behind him. Pace car takes the hard left turn, and it's a sprint run to the end. Green flag is back in the air, and we're back racing in Thunder Valley. Dupree by 2 car lengths over Galgan. You see Adam Green trying to blend back in with the field. Galgan to 1 car length back. He's going awfully hard. He knows what the stakes are here. He knows how much of a gap they've got built for a moment. Here comes Trey Galgan on the back bumper of Dupree. Crosses over to the bottom for the race lead. Trey Galgan, the winner in Michigan a week ago, looking to go back-to-back. Every one of these 5 cars up front is going for all they are worth. Here comes Strader for 2nd. He's been one of the best cars on new tires. We saw him hold off the field a moment ago. He gets to the 2nd position. Hayden dives to the bottom of the racetrack. That'll be for 3rd. Dupree's gamble is not paying off. Strader now, can he pass Trey Galgan? That'll be the next question. Inside of 50 to go. You got to go now. This is like 10 to go at a super speedway. These laps are going to tick away extremely quickly. Galgan and Strader run identical lines here through 1 and 2 as they start to pull away from the leaders. It is mano-y-mano. The winner of our last two races here in the top two, the winners of our last two races, Galgan last week, Strader 2 weeks ago in Watkins Glen. Galgan trying to hold on, trying to get his second win in the OP Throwback Series in his first season and in back-to-back weeks. What an achievement that would be, but look out. Rusty Odyssey says, I'm not out of this thing yet. He starts to close up with the leaders. Trouble! Chris Weaver's around, and he's sitting on the front straightaway. Goodness, right in front of the race leaders. And that was a tense moment. They came flying by him. Goodness. Chris Weaver, was right in the middle of the speedway. I want to go back and see what happened to the 88. He comes off. Hang on, it starts further back. He comes off at 2, gets loose, goes to the apron, slows it down. And slides it sideways. Brings it to a stop, and my goodness, Galgan did not miss him by much, and neither did Isaiah Dupree. I think he's going to get the transition here between the apron, the flat part of the apron, and the little banked part of the apron. Trying to come back up on track. Well, I thought so. Nope, just loses grip on the banked part of the apron. And slides sideways here on the front straightaway off the exit of turn number 4. And slides and parks here on the front stretch. Luckily, it didn't come up any further because watch how close this encounter is right here with the leaders. Take one more look at it. So an interesting situation there for Chris Weaver, getting some confirmation here in the live YouTube chat. It could have been a technical issue there for Chris Weaver, which would make a lot of sense, a pop-up on the screen. That's a tough break for Chris Weaver, who is having a really good run. And now it's behind the 8 ball, 12th position on the racetrack, a lap down. Tough break for Chris Weaver. We'll see if he can recover. Now we're inside of 40 laps to go, and if you thought that restart was wild and all-out racing, now we're going to be inside of 40 laps to go. These guys cannot waste any more time. So no more time wasting here at the front. They're going to have to go, and you got to go now. And you got to hope that your tires hold up for the next 38 laps of racing. Trey Galgan, Christian Strader, Rusty Modesty, Matt Hayden, Isaiah Dupree, Hunter Carlson, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Cody Eldred, Bo Benham, Brian Elmore. 10 cars on the lead lap will settle it on the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. Galgan in the 49, last week's winner, brings him back into the restart zone and controls the field. Green flag. He waits really late in the restart zone. Now he's on the gas, and away goes Trey Galgan. 38 laps to go in Bristol. How quickly can Strader and Modesty make work of the 49 of Galgan? Can they at all? Can Galgan hold them all off? Modesty to the bottom. That's for position number 2, but now thinks better of it. Slips back in line. Strader in line, half a car length back, another half car length back to Rusty Modesty, and then a car length back to Matt Hayden in 4th. Dupree trying to wait on something to happen here in the front group. 36 laps to go here in Bristol. Galgan, Strader, Modesty, Hayden under a blanket, trying to solve it between themselves. Galgan blocks all the way to the apron. Strader looked low. Galgan followed him down. Strader right on the bumper, just going to have to pick when he wants to go and how he wants to go about this. He may only have 1 to 2 more shots at the leader, Trey Galligan. With the momentum, you lose. Going to look topside. That doesn't quite work for him, but he might get a really good drive off. He does. He's going to back up the corner and just hang in line. Continues to ride right about a half a car length on the bumper of Trey Galligan. He's putting serious pressure on the leader, trying to force him into a mistake or find a bit of a gap, a window to make his car fit, to make his presence felt here at the front of the field. Again, high stakes, high intensity racing here at the front between the top 4 cars. They start to drive away from Matt Hayden a little bit, do these top 3. Even Rusty Modesty's lost about a car length on this battle. It may come down to the front 2. Who's going to get the better run here, Galligan or Strader? Strader pulls back up. He's back to within about a bumper length here. He's right in the tire tracks off turn number 4. 30 laps to go from Bristol. Strader has been running better laps. Now he comes to the bumper. He just has to decide, number 1, when do I want to go? And number 2, do I want to try to test the bottom? Do I try to bait him? Do I try to maybe carry speed around the top, try to get to his right recorder panel and get my preferred line? He might do that right here. But Galligan slams the door in his face. Modesty's back in this battle now with these two focused on each other. Where does he go in this equation? He wants to get his first win of the year. Galligan looking for his second win of the year. Strader looking for his third. 3 cars under a blanket within 2 car lengths here. Off turn number 4 again in Bristol, and again it's Galligan leading, but not by much, about a half a car length. For a second I thought Strader had him beat on the outside of the racetrack, but Galligan slammed the door shut. Tires are going to get older, the grip's going to get worse. Who's going to be able to hang on and make their car run the best under the poor circumstances? Strader again drives right to the back bumper of Trey Galligan, but he hasn't been able to pass him. 25 to go. You see the number tick over in the top left of your screen. It's crunch time in Thunder Valley. A reminder, any caution inside of 5 laps to go would be the race for the lead. Strader goes to the bottom of the hill. He wants to test the bottom. It doesn't quite work. He's got to slip back in line now. I have to try to regain that momentum. But he did take a look. So attempt number 1 fended off by Trey Galligan. With 24 laps to go. Is that all she wrote perhaps for the 12? He's going to have to do the same thing he just did. Drive back to him and try to get another run. He's about a car length, maybe a car length and a half on the back bumper of the 49. But he continues to try to reel him in, and he continues to start to do it again. Modesty's not out of this yet, but he may have to have something happen with the front 2 leaders for something to go his way here late in the going. Off turn 2, Galligan's starting to get some breathing room. Modesty goes to the bottom, but it doesn't work for him. He's going to get past. Matt Hayden goes to 3rd. Dupree's back into this battle as well. He goes to the bottom on Modesty. That's for 4th. Dupree is not out of this race either. Battle for 4th behind the leader. We're going to keep it right here on the leader for now. You see the battle there at the right side of your screen, but Dupree has to slip back in line. Inside of 20 laps to go here in Bristol. If you're Strader, you got to realize that if there's another caution, you got to be in front of him. Because if it's inside 5 to go, the race is over. There are no green-white checkers in the Thursday Night Throwback Series. I'll tell you who the fastest car on the racetrack looks to be, and I think it's Matt Hayden. It could even be Isaiah Dupree. I think both those cars have some serious speed under them. Dupree gets by Modesty. That's for 4th. And now Hayden starts to work on Strader for 2nd, but he's going to have to make really quick work of him here. He'll have to make extremely quick work if he wants any hope of catching Trey Galligan, who can start to drive away, but lap traffic will come into play here in a moment. Strader has to lift. Hayden drives into the bottom of the hill for 2nd. Here comes Matt Hayden, the Viagra Ford Taurus. Strader's into the wall. Hayden had to lift, and here comes Isaiah Dupree. He goes to third, right around straighter. Now he looks for second. He's on a warpath. Almost contact between the 6 and the 86. Galgan's in lap traffic with 14 to go. Hayden and Dupree continue to battle, and Galgan tries to ride off into the sunset. Dupree to the bottom of the hill. Can he get the spot on Hayden? Yes, he can. Almost trouble for the leader, Galgan. He had to bomb turn 1. That's going to allow Dupree right back into this battle. Half a second between our first and second place cars. Galgan trying his best to hold on for 13 more laps. Dupree 4 car lengths back. Another classic short track finish coming up in the Throwback Series. Isaiah Dupree. He's 4 car lengths back of the race leader. Can he go get the job done again? 11 laps to go this time by. It's 3 car lengths. How do you attack this if you're Isaiah Dupree? I don't think you can move him, not in these cars. You're going to have to pass him. A car length, make it half. 10 laps to go in Bristol, 5 miles left. Dupree looks top. Galgan shuts that down. Still half a car length. Dupree probably going to have to roll the bottom of the hill, but Galgan runs the middle. Can Dupree get to his outside? It's awfully close here off 4, but not quite. Crosses over. Dupree to the bottom for the race lead. Galgan's going to have to drive it hard off the top. Dupree's going to have to run up close to his door, and that's going to allow Matt Hayden to get back into this battle in third. Almost contact there off 4. 8 to go, and here comes Hayden. Dupree back in line. Hayden, can he cross down the hill? Dupree may have tapped the wall. Was that his only look? Still 8 laps to settle this one. Going to be 7 when they pass the start-finish line. Dupree back to his back bumper, and again they will race for the lead. Dupree tries to get the right recorder panel. Can't. Now he crosses over. He might have to bide his time and pick the right run. If he picks the wrong run, he might lose himself the race. Does he take another look here into 1? Not quite. He stays in line. Matt Hayden is in line with these 2 as well. They're awfully close. Crossover for the lead off turn 2 again. Here comes Dupree to the bottom. Galgan runs him down the speedway. Now Matt Hayden gets to the outside potentially. Can he get to the outside of Dupree? Can he take a look for the lead? 5 laps to go in Bristol. Matt Hayden has all of a sudden emerged as a potential winner. They pass by Adam Green. Dupree slips into third. Now it's Matt Hayden's turn. What does he have for Trey Galgan with 5 laps to go? Galgan's done an incredible job to this point in the race of defending. He's got 1 more run potentially to defend. Hayden tries to get the outside, but gets the outside wall instead. Galgan can breathe for a moment, but not for long. Hayden runs too wide. Gets into the outside wall, and now Galgan starts to drive away. Dupree forward to second again. 3 laps to go. Dupree might have 1 more look at him. It's going to be 1 mile to go when we get to the back of the start-finish line. Where did Jimmy Fitzmaurice come from? 2 laps to go, and Fitzmaurice is third. Dupree's got to drive it for all it's worth. When they get back to the start-finish line, this race will be official. Jimmy Fitzmaurice all of a sudden has crashed the party here at the front. White flag, 1 lap to go in Thunder Valley. Incredible stuff for the last 250 laps. Does Dupree have anything for him? Does he send it to the bottom? He does. Dupree, can he get alongside the leader? He cannot. Trey Galgan holds them all off. He wins in Bristol. I thought there were going to be fireworks. There are not. A well-earned victory for Trey Galgan. Back-to-back wins in the Throwback Series and took on every last punch that this field could throw at him. And that was fantastic racing the last run of that race. Some of the best we've seen. Galgan has certainly earned this one. He dominated last week. It wasn't quite the case this week. But that 1 on the scoring pylon means all the same. He's a 2-time winner in the OP Racing Throwback Series. Well, take a second real quick. I feel like I smited Jimmy Fitzmaurice there because I was so focused, I was so invested on Galgan and Dupree and Matt Hayden that I literally did not even see the Fitzmaurice machine until he was going by Matt Hayden for third with 3 laps to go. So my apologies to Jimmy Fitzmaurice, but he came out of nowhere on that last run. He was running 8th at one point in that last run. He drives all the way to the front and almost, I'm telling you, if he had about 5 more laps, he might have made that interesting for the race to win, but nonetheless, he finishes tonight in the 3rd position behind Dupree and Galgan. So we'll go through your finishing results, then we'll go get your top 3 for interviews. What an incredible race here tonight from Bristol. Trey Galgan is a back-to-back winner in the Irish Hills of Michigan last week, in the mountains of East Tennessee this week. It's Isaiah Dupree finishing in the 2nd position tonight. Jimmy Fitzmaurice finishes in the 3rd position. I mean, by far, an incredible run for the 33. Matt Hayden finishes 4th. Cody Eldred, great run for the 4. He finishes in 5th position. Christian Strader finishes 6th tonight. Rusty Modesty, how about that run for him in 7th in his first start? Bo Benham, he finishes 8th. Brian Elmore finishes 9th. And Hunter Carlson should keep the points lead tonight with a 10th place finish. Jordan Anderson finishes 11th. Chris Weaver in 12th. Alex Green in 13th. Brent Elmore 14th. Adam Green in 15th. It is Eric Kosciolik in 16th. Andrew Moletta in 17th. Richard Sanchez 18th. Chris Comfort 19th. Vicente Guerrero 20th. Davey Weaver 21st. And Travis Elliott in 22nd. We'll start into the post-race show now. An incredible effort tonight by really all these drivers at the front of the field there at the end. I mean, that was incredible. Takes me back to the racing at Richmond last season, Darlington last season. Several races we had just incredible racing at. Tonight was no different. And we'll start now into our post-race show. We'll start with the man who finished in the 3rd position. And we will go ahead and make sure that we don't interrupt him, but it is the 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice, and I mean, again, I feel bad. I almost spited him here, but he does finish 3rd. He drives through the field. We're going to get an idea on that because I'm really curious myself on how he got back to the front, how he drove all the way to 3rd. Hey, Jimmy, it's Dawson in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How's it going?
Well, it's going well. I can't imagine I'm doing it as good as you are right now. I'll tell you what. If you go back and watch the broadcast, I'll apologize in advance because I kind of spited you. I was so focused on the top 2, top 3 that I could not quite catch that you were driving through the field until you passed Matt Hayden with 3 laps to go. And I was like, goodness, where did he come from? Take us through that last sequence. You know, you drive all the way to 3rd on that last run of the race. Take me through it. How'd you get on the podium tonight?
So we had a late caution there with about about 50 to go, and I was in last car in the lead lap. I said let's go get some tires. They only had 3-4 laps on them, but I really think that's what got me a little bit of the edge at the end. I saved the first 20, and then I ran 20s about as hard as I could, and just paid off.
Well, it did. You drive all the way to 3rd in the 33 tonight. A great run for you. You finish on the podium. What was the game plan for this race? It's obviously a lot more cautions than we're used to. You know, the tire strategy, like you said, comes into play. You know, what was the game plan going into tonight?
You know, really, I knew it was just going to be a matter of survival, and I got caught a lap down and took tires again because I was the last car on a lap down, but it put me in the front inside and was able to catch a caution while we were in front of the leaders, got my lap back, which is really tough to do in this league, running the old rules. Just real happy that our Misfits crew with Matt Hayden and Rusty Modesty, that we could have a good run here tonight and good showing.
Well, absolutely. Well, it's a 3rd place finish for you tonight. You guys have a really great showing overall as a team. So before we let you go and celebrate that, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, as always, just my Misfits group with Rusty Modesty and Matt Hayden. You know, we always put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to try to run good, and it's nice to come away with a good finish here.
Well, absolutely it is. Congratulations tonight on the 3rd place finish. A fantastic run for you. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate, and we will see you next week at Darlington.
Thanks a lot, Dawson. Have a good night.
Jimmy Fitzmaurice in the 33 finishes tonight's race in the third position. That'll move us to the man who finished in second and was part of that incredible battle for the race win, a two-time winner this year, Isaiah Dupree. Hey, Isaiah, it's Dawson in the booth. You get a copy?
Sir.
Well, I mean, you got to take us through that last sequence. Incredible stuff between you and Trey and Jimmy and Matt Hayden and Christian and Rusty. I mean, so many cars in the mix for the win on that last sequence. We saw you drive from 5th to 2nd. I thought you might have had the best shot there at the end. Is there anything you could have done differently to get past Trey?
Yeah, absolutely. I should have taken my time more. It's one of those things, once you get to the back of them, I'm like, oh, I'm finally here. I was just ready to go and get by and lead to the end there. I think I sent it a little bit too early. Just couldn't line up a run on him. But he was doing a really good job of holding this line and making me run the perfect lap to get by him. So wish I had another shot at it, but it was really fun racing up at the end there, those last two runs.
Well, it really was, and kind of take us through, how you guys as leaders were approaching that, because I know we saw that racing early in the race. You kind of got in that middle section. It got a little bit of caution filled, but then those last two runs we got back to it. Take us through how you guys were approaching racing each other, how you guys were going about when to make moves, when to push, and what created that great racing.
Well, in that first run, first two runs really, I used up my stuff way too much. So from then on out, I was trying to save, and really just hoping for the long run that we finally got there. And then once we got it, I was able to drive up through the field there, and it was really fun. But yeah, it's just surviving through that middle part of the race. I got caught in an accident, but was able to recover from it, and just trying to stay out of the really hairy restarts.
Well, you do just that. You finished second tonight. Another great points night for you. Another very successful finish. So before we let you go and celebrate, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you for the broadcast. Thanks, Alex and Cody. It was really fun running with them tonight. And then everybody else that shows up every week to make it a really fun league.
Well, certainly a very fun race tonight here in Bristol. You finished second. Congratulations on that. A fantastic run for you. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. And we will see you next week in Darlington.
All right, take it easy.
Isaiah Dupree, a man who knows Darlington very well. If you'll remember last season's race in Darlington, he knows that track like the back of his hand. We'll see what he can do next week. And that brings us to the man of the hour. I mean, we talked about him last week and how good an effort that was. Almost as good an effort in the last 30 laps of this one. Being able to hold off all of the advances of 4 different cars at one point in that run. Incredible stuff by Trey Galgan. And we'll get an idea of what he thought of that finish here in a moment. Hey, Trey, it's Dawson up in the booth. You get a copy?
Gotcha.
Well, it's got to be a nerve-wracking last 35 laps. I mean, the guys behind you threw everything they could at your back bumper. You hold them off. You go back to victory lane. It's back-to-back wins for you. First off, how did you hold off the guys behind you in the charges there at the end of the race?
Just a little bit of luck and just a little bit of just a lot of timing. Was just able to hold them to the bottom. Forget who was behind me, but all the guys behind me, they just weren't able to get the lines and get the runs that they needed to pass me, and I was able to time it right and keep them on the bottom and keep them behind me, and that's pretty much how I was able to win it tonight.
Well, absolutely, and it was a fantastic effort for you. Well, look, you told us last week that you probably should have had the one in Chicagoland. Well, you go to victory lane in Michigan. Now you go back to back. So I mean, you got the first one out of the way. Now you go back to back. What does this do for you as a driver going forward? You now put it to these guys 2 weeks in a row, 2 straight wins. How does that feel for you?
To be honest with you, tonight put a lot of confidence into me. This was the first time that I was able to hold off, a guy that was charging, to the front with fresher tires than I had. Obviously we all pitted at the same time, but he saved his stuff up a lot more than I did, and it just gave me a lot more confidence going into the future weeks. But yeah, I think then the next few weeks definitely a confidence booster going into those weeks.
Well, absolutely, and we certainly hope to see what you can bring to the track the next few weeks. After this win in Bristol, you're in victory lane tonight. Before we let you go and celebrate, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Just shout out G3 Graphics. Keep digging. Admin box, and then all the guys that are work with over at Weaver Motorsports. All those guys, that great group of guys, and yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations on another victory tonight. Back-to-back wins for you here in Bristol. Go enjoy it and go celebrate, and we will see you next week in Darlington.
All right, thanks.
Trey Galgan, the winner tonight from Bristol Motor Speedway, his second win in the series and his second in a matter of 2 weeks. Incredible stuff here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Fantastic racing. I mean, quintessential Bristol racing. Racing the way it ought to be is the slogan of Bristol Motor Speedway, and it lived up to the hype here tonight. What a race. Trey Galgan, Isaiah Dupree, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Matt Hayden, Christian Strader, Rusty Modesty, hats off. That was fantastic, and I'm sure they enjoyed it as much as we did. I hope you all did as well. Thanks so much for watching. Head over to the PGR Esports Network right now, PGR Esports here on YouTube, and watch live as the PGR Esports Thursday night Intimidator Series takes to the high banks of Talladega, I believe, tonight in the Xfinity Series cars. So the final four of PGR Esports March Madness. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some great matchups going over there. I'm headed over there myself to help them call the remainder of the race. Other than that, the playoffs are underway on Saturday. Catch that on Max Speed TV for the OP Racing Butt Kicker Unlimited Series. The playoffs are going to get underway next Wednesday for the OP Racing Grand National Super Speedway Series. I'm unsure of the car track combo. Can't remember. Those will be on the Turn 3 Racing Network here with KR Stolfus starting in next Wednesday. And the Monday season is in the playoff push, the last few weeks of the regular season as we get to the playoffs, also on Turn 3 Racing Network with KR Stolfus. Other than that, that's going to all but do it for me. Hope you all enjoyed here tonight from Bristol. My name is Dawson Wise. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. Keep coming back. Keep watching these guys on Thursday nights. They deserve it. They have earned it. And certainly, I hope tonight you enjoyed your experience here in Bristol. Trey Galgan gets the win, his second win as a Throwback Series driver, and his second in 2 weeks. Next week, we head to